Hello everyone, welcome to my Monday forecast, and let's get started with looking at the euro and the US dollar. What we had in the prior price action, we had this large impulse, then we started to ascend, so we broke the high retraced, broke the high retraced, and broke the high retraced. So I actually expected this impulse to a downside, since this is a common pattern where we get an ascending structure, then we break the low, and we get a flag to a downside, or a break and retest to a downside. So at this point I was looking for a trade, but I had to remember that it was Friday. So Friday afternoon I don't really look at trades, and on top of that it was NFP, so when there is NFP news out I also don't take any trades. But this did form a flag entry, so this would be the entry candle, but I didn't place an order because I don't usually take flag trades on a Sunday evening or Monday morning. I tend to stay out of the flag trades because I know that they don't really play out good. So currently I'm waiting for the break of this low and this high. Sorry, this would be the this would be the counter trend candle, and this would be then the most recent high. So I'm waiting for the price to break the low or the high. And actually what I can forecast is, because it's Monday and Tuesday, we will get more of range bound price action. So maybe we get something like this. And what I would like to see, I would like to see a nice large push, nice large push to downside, and then a flag to go short. Or a nice large push, pull back another push, look for a break and a retest to go short also. Also what can happen, so we can get, just a second, so if we do get a clean descending structure and then we get a nice push to the upside, I would look for a long trade. And same thing to the upside, if we get a push up, I would look for a flag to go long. If we get a push, pull back another push, break and retest, I would also look to go long. And then if we form an ascending, look for an impulse to downside and look to go short or to sell. So very similar, so I'm looking at the same thing to the upside as I'm looking to the downside, but currently waiting for the break of the low or the high. This is just currently showing me a range because I'm seeing an ascending right here. So I'm seeing this ascending, and I'm also seeing, let me draw it down, so I'm also seeing this descending. And I can just expect more of this sort of price action where we get an ascending into a descending structure. So yeah, that is it for the euro and the US dollar. Now let's take a look at the euro and the Japanese yen. So this one, we did also have this large impulse, and then we started to have an ascending channel. So here is this ascending channel. And then what happened, so we broke the low, retraced, broke the low and got some momentum. But what is really important is that we ended and created a large wick. So at this point I wanted to see more of, I can actually take it back. So at this point I was looking to enter on a short trade, since we are coming from an ascending and price broke the low, retraced, but this was a little bit of momentum, then paused a bit, continued with this sort of momentum. But because of this large wick I was looking for more of a range, so something like this, and then push to the upside to go short. But what we actually got, so we got this aggressive retrace, and I know that on the Japanese pairs, such as the euro and the Japanese yen and the Aussie Japanese yen, when we get a large wick and an aggressive retrace, we just tend to get something like this, and then we go to the upside, or we just reverse the direction. Also what I can forecast is that we can just stay ranging in this area. So currently I'm waiting for the break of the low or the high. What can happen, we can get a V reversal and then get a small range, push to the upside, look for a long trade, because this is a common pattern that occurs. Also what I would like to see is a push to the upside, then a flag to go long. Or push, pull back another push, break and retest, also to go long. Maybe we get an ascending structure, and if it's clean, and if the impulse to the downside is also showing me some momentum, I would look for a short trade. And what I would really like to see is I would like to see another push right here and then look for a break and retest, because then it's signaling a trend. We have this smaller impulse, small pullback, one nice impulse, pullback, and then another impulse, so signaling a trend. Or I would like to see a nice impulse and then a flag to go short. But what can happen, we can get more of this descending, we can start to create a descending, then I would look for an impulse to the upside and look for a long trade. But as I said, I would really like to see some continuation of this momentum, because I'm seeing this nice impulse, and I would like to get in on a trend if we do get an opportunity. So now let's take a look at the Aussie pairs. So let's go over the Aussie and the US dollar. I was actually in a trade, so right here, let me put the risk to reward. It was a 1% loss, but it was a very good trade, so let me take it back even further, maybe around here, around market open. So on Friday what we got a nice impulse to downside. I would classify this as a large impulse actually. Then we had just one candle pullback, no momentum shift, and we continued with that momentum. So this to me was signaling a nice trend to a downside, and this was looking really good. And then what we got the pullback right here. I wasn't looking for a flag since it was NFP, and this flag wouldn't fit my plan because it's just a dirty flag. I wanted to see if I were trading that day, I wanted to see a cleaner flag. This is just very wiki, but I was happy to look for an ascending range to the bullet area, which would be this inside bar. This would be the area where I would place a short order. So I wanted to see when the market opened a nice range and a nice ascending to the area, and actually we did get that. So we started to ascend a bit. You can see we broke the high retraced, then we started to have some pausing candles, and then this candle took me in the trade, and I got stopped out for 1% loss, but it fit my plan 100%. I was very happy to enter on that short because, as I said, I was looking for more of a range after the market opened, and we did actually get this smaller range. And then what happened, so we broke the high, got a little bit of momentum, but then retraced, so I wasn't looking to enter on a long trade from here, because I know also that on the Aussie and US dollar, when we get an ascending structure and then an impulse in the same direction, it doesn't really tend to work out. So I was not happy to look for a long after this one candle. And currently what I'm waiting for, waiting for the break of the low or the high. What I can forecast is that we will get more of this ranging price action, since it is Monday and Tuesday, we know are predominantly range bound, so that is definitely something to consider. Also what can happen, so we can get more of this ascending structure, then I would look for an impulse to downside and a short trade. That would be clean. Or we can get a push to the upside, look for a flag to go long, or a push, pull back another push, look for a break and a retest, also to go long. What can happen also, we can get a nice large descending structure from here, and if that happens, I would look for an impulse to the upside and a long trade. Or we can shoot to a downside from here, also look for a flag, or maybe look for a break and retest trade to go short, because now we are seeing an established trend. We are seeing one impulse, small pullback, and another impulse, which is a very good price action. And also I am seeing this form an ascending structure, so this can be classified as an ascending. So if I see a nice large push, something like this, I would consider maybe taking a break and a retest, but the price action would need to be clean, so it all depends on what happens with the price action. So that is it for the Aussie and US dollar. Let's take a look at the Aussie and the Japanese yen. Currently this one is just very range bound. If we zoom out a bit, this just looks very range bound. So on Friday we did get this impulse to the upside, range, then we shot to the downside with a large impulse, started to range right here, and now we started to create this ascending structure. So I'm seeing an ascending right here, but actually to me this just looks more ranging than ascending, because I'm also seeing this, let's say, V reversal. So maybe we can form a small range at this point, then get a push to downside and look for a short trade. Or maybe we get the push straight from here, look for a flag to go short, or look for a break and a retest trade. Or maybe we form a descending and then form more of this range, so a descending into an ascending, so an ascending into descending into another ascending structure. That is also a possibility. I would also look, if we push to the upside, to look for a long trade, or if we push to the upside, get a break and a retest entry, or maybe we get an ascending structure, push to the downside and look for a flag to go short. So also something I would look at, but when zooming out, this looks range bound, so I would like to see a larger impulse. I would like to see some momentum, because currently this is showing me no conviction and is just looking like we're going to create more of a range. So yeah, that is it for the Aussie and the Japanese yen. Currently what interests me is, so the Aussie and the US dollar, maybe we get some moves right here. As I said, right here we can get this V, small range, and the push to the downside. For the euro, just waiting for the break of the low or the high, not really showing me anything. And for the EJ, this one actually looks the best out of all of the four pairs, if we get the continuation of to the downside, as I said. So yeah, that is it for the forecast, and I will see you in the next one.